The following Earth Angel media presentation is brought to you commercial-free as a gratuity from the sponsor producer named after the show. Please consider their message. Find other high-value shows listed at earthangelproject.com. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Soul Decodes. Join us as we wander off the path to find the ideas that fascinate. We talk about spirituality, the mind, the ego, wellness, and hidden history with tips, travels, and tales. Charms for a better life.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. You're listening to Soul Decodes, episode 61. It's a gorgeous day. And here in Central Florida, we're in the Treehouse on Phillips Island, Treehouse Studio. I'm with the amazing Sarah Tirri.
Oh, God, that's a good
you are
intro.
amazing. And you're fun. It is always good to see you.
Yeah.
What's on your mind today?
Well, so some shit went down on Tuesday at my house, so I want to talk about that. I want to explore it. And, so I put... my husband had put the garbage cans out and he'd left the house. So they're down at the street, right? So we have 3 garbage cans, 2 are recycling, 1's garbage. And it's about 1,000 feet from the house, the gates.
Okay.
So I was walking around my house on the Tuesday morning and I looked down at the road and it just looks like the just worst mess you could ever possibly see, right? So I get in the truck and I go down there. And the garbage is everywhere. Literally everywhere. And we'd unpacked something that had a lot of styrofoam, sheets of it. And then that had been put in, and that was everywhere. And then I had about 400 pages I didn't want to archive anymore, so I just threw them in the garbage can, but they weren't together. So there's 400 pages of a manuscript all over the place. There were 4 or 5 garbage cans that one had a chicken carcass in it, and then one has some steak scraps. And they were just everywhere, all over the place. And I couldn't believe it, right? And I was actually about to exercise, so I have to turn my reaction into something positive because I don't want to be reactionary by adding to that. So I thought, okay, well, at least it's 75 degrees and it's nice and breezy. Could be worse. I could have been on the turnpike with a blown out tyre. That would have been worse. So I go into my comparisons. And I'm going to be picking up a lot of fucking garbage. So my hamstrings are going to get a good workout. So I prepped myself. And I had a drink with me, which was good. So I started to pick up this garbage and this truck pulled up. And he got out and he said, "Could I help you?" And I just was instinctively, "Oh, no, I've got it. It's fine." And I had my system of what I wanted to do. And he said, "No, let me help you." And I said, "No," I've really got it. And I really appreciate you pulling over. I said, "It's really, really nice of you." And he said, "Oh, raccoons, huh?" And that's what I had assumed. This was raccoons that got inside the garbage can. And then I turned around to pick something up. And he has a raccoon in a cage in his truck. And then he brings it round to the back of his truck and he puts it down. And he said, "This is what I do for a living." And he captures raccoons. And I said to him, "What do you do with the raccoons?" And he said, "Oh, I set them free on my friend's property down on 33. And I thought that was nice, that you set them free, that you're not shooting them. And then I walked up to this raccoon and it just sort of looked at me and I just thought, that's weird. Like if you'd have just caught this, he'd be much more afraid of me. So, and then he gave me his business card and then I picked up all the garbage and I went back and I thought, have I just been set up? So I called my husband and I explained what I just explained to you. And my mind went there and I thought, you're just being paranoid, Sarah, but his went there too, as that this guy is responsible for this and what he wants to do is secure a contract to keep my garbage cans safe from raccoons and that he was responsible for doing it. So that was the story. And they're the 2 points of view. Either it was just he happened to be in the right place at the right time with a raccoon And so this is how I'm. So let's go into the metaphysics of that. But what I've decided to do now is use the dump. So we have a transfer station, which is 3 miles down the road, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I'm not even going to use my garbage cans anymore because I just don't want to deal with that. And I'll just, take the garbage to the transfer station. So I don't know. That was my Tuesday.
What a happy day. Yeah, that's a
funny day.
It does sound kind of sound suspicious. Just so you know, the transfer station's open not
Monday, Wednesday and Friday.
Actually, it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I just don't want you
to is it?
Yeah, I don't want you to go on the wrong day. It's like, damn it, they're always closed. Yeah, no, I would check the dates because they changed them recently. So
now let's go into a thought experiment that I was set up. Okay, let's just go back. Let's just give him his innocence. And he just happened to be a really good gentleman passing by, taking care of raccoons and totally benevolent. So what of doing that for a living? I mean, and he said to me, oh, you've just moved in, haven't you? And I don't usually give my business away, but I moved out for a year to the lake and we renovated the house. And I said, oh, no, I've been here for 30 years. He said, because you painted the house white. What of someone setting a business up like that? Now, he was willing to help me pick it up, which I thought was interesting. He would have been willing to help me do that. So he did have some conscience.
So this is the...
I mean, what a way to make a...
We've talked about this multiple times. This is episode 61. I've probably brought it up like 4 times. The Hegelian Dialectic. Hegelian Dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. So the question becomes...
There it is. If this... yeah.
Let's create a problem.
Yes.
Let's get you to react to it.
Yes.
And let me give you a solution.
Yeah.
But this is what happens.
There it is.
Look, the Federal Reserve
Holy
does it.
fuck.
Your politicians do it. The school district does it. Everybody in the world does this. And but I'm not saying that's the case.
No, but the thought experiment we're just saying if that was a dastardly act, that's what it represents. I mean, he could have been a nice guy. Who knows?
So, I mean, that's a pretty synthetic way of creating business.
Yeah.
From an entrepreneur standpoint, which I teach entrepreneurs.
It's pretty genius.
Well, it's actually kind of dastardly.
It's dastardly.
But
effective, though, because if he just thinks, I'm going to believe that, he was very polite, very nice, offered his help.
They always are. The government's biggest thing is we're here to help you.
Yeah.
We're going to create a big problem.
Now, metaphysically...
Yeah. But I'm talking about government, but you're talking about metaphysically.
Well, let's go into that. So you've now... been a horrible person and I consider you my enemy. I'm not talking about I hate you or anything, but you have just come to my house, disturbed something in order to extract money from me.
I mean...
Right, that's pretty fucking shitty.
Well, I mean...
And that isn't going to be good for him, and I would love to say that. There's nothing good's going to come out of you doing this.
I mean,
You've got to be really careful about that.
I mean, you're going right down to the philosophical root of life itself. Mm-hmm. Are we here to establish or clear karma from the past, or make sure we have clear karma?
Could it be my
future?
Karma metaphysically, right? I was thinking about that. You've got all this.
I mean,
trash.
you could make an argument.
You could do, and I do all the time.
You could make an argument that you summoned him into your world, that you actually created that situation just for yourself.
I might have created it for myself,
right.
And if the reason I've done that is because this, what's it called, Hegelic argument?
It's called the Hegelian Dialectic.
Yeah.
And basically,
Hegelian Dialectic.
But it's the whole.
But that
concept,
was an example of that. If I'm right about it,
right?
Yeah.
So as an entrepreneur, what we do is we identify problems. We don't create them.
That's the issue, isn't it? It's the creating it.
A true entrepreneur doesn't create the problem. But I will tell you, this is interesting because I go to this thing once in a while. It's called A Million Cups.
Oh.
And it's a Wednesday morning. It's a meeting of entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs. I talk to you about
Why
it.
Cups?
Cups, C-U-P-S.
Cups. Okay.
Like you have to, your cups run, helping each other, your cups run over.
That makes more sense, yeah.
I don't know what the genesis of the organization, I don't know anything about it. They just invite me
with cups.
They invite me to come and participate because I'm an entrepreneur and I know about technology and stuff. Yeah. So whenever I'm able, I go and I participate. Then they're good people. I like to help out. Sometimes it's a sales pitch. We talked about that. But this last time, this guy came up and he's just some CPA. He works in Orlando. He's got this business idea. And pretty much everybody in the room was like, after, he talked for like He gave his pitch and what his problem is that he's trying to solve. And the whole room's looking at each other like, I don't understand what problem you're solving.
Yes, that's an important one.
He literally, they went around and there's this one lady, she's pretty bold. She's like, okay, you've been talking for 20 minutes and I'm still confused. Like,
what is the problem?
What is the problem you're trying to
that.
solve?
Yeah.
That other applications or other programs or other like ChatGPT or what are you trying to solve that's not already solved?
Can't you just be selling a competitive model?
Well, you can.
Yes.
But
which
then
is going to be, all of that will be solving.
And the very first entrepreneur to chime in with help, he said, listen, can you refine for me the unique proposal? Like, what is your unique marketing? Mm-hmm. What's unique about what you're doing and how you're doing it? Or what you're doing? Like, what is you're bringing to the market that is so compelling and so unique that somebody's going to want to buy your product?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's it, isn't it?
And the guy couldn't answer it.
Oh, poor him.
But we went around but he's just he's not an entrepreneur. He's a CPA with an idea.
Yeah, he's in the wrong environment.
And I even tell you, so I was the last person to ask questions because I like everybody else to ask their questions because.
Well, it all could be sewn up.
That way I can fill in the blanks.
You can.
Like exactly. Whatever's not been
whatever's
asked,
left,
I can fill
I'll
in the
address.
blanks.
Yeah.
Right. So I always try to go last. I'm always the last or second to last. Mm-hmm. But I introduced the idea of Web3. You know, like everything you're doing, the reason it doesn't work efficiently is it's on Web 2.0, which is the existing internet, but it could work.
Now go through why that's inefficient again. It's inefficient because someone can shut it down. Web 0.3 allows you to not be interfered with. So here's a couple. Web 3 means different things to different people, but for a layman's person, a layman's explanation, there's the novel things about Web 3 are, number one, it can be public or it can be private. Number two, it blows a hole in the traditional money-making rails. So traditionally, let's just say you have podcasters. You can have a subscription to the podcast where you pay a monthly fee and you get the subscription, or you can have advertisers or commercials. Yeah. All of those suck. Mm-hmm. Like there's those, even on a good day. Or donations, yeah.
Yeah, a donation is like, well, kind of
the same.
You're
getting money.
It's whatever.
It's another way
you're
of coming
pandering
at
for
it.
money.
Yeah.
So Web3 gives people an opportunity to, if you and I make a 60-minute podcast and somebody wants to pay a half a penny or a penny a minute, we can charge a penny a minute, commercial free, and all they do is just pay as they go. No subscriptions, no advertising. And if you have a 30-minute drive to work and a 30-minute back, you listen to our 1-hour podcast, you give us 60 cents, and we're done. And it's a good podcast. No commercials, no subscriptions. If you don't like it, don't listen to it again, right? There's no need.
Yes, it's 60 cents of entertainment for an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it can be a half a penny or a penny per minute. Doesn't matter. It's some number. I'm just using a penny. So that's another novel thing. The third novel thing is that if you go on private rails, the data is secure. It's private. So you get away from all of the people. Like whenever you use something with ChatGPT and you're setting or any of these AI models, and you send it off into the cloud, you're giving the world, like let's just you're brainstorming this novel idea. There's this really good idea that you want to put out there,
and it's now out there.
It's going to solve audio engineering problems forever.
Yeah.
All right. So now you have this audio engineer masterpiece. You're putting it out there.
It's out there on the cloud.
No,
and
somebody else
can
pick it up.
So how does Web 3.0 protect
You can do it
that?
on a private. You can do it on your private stuff. So you can make your AI work on your own private server.
Right.
So you can use AI technology on your own private server.
So that's really interesting.
I mean, so there's
they're all valid points, aren't
That's not necessarily unique to Web 3, but it's certainly someplace we're going. So Web 3 has to do with data privacy, with different ways of making money. We talked about this with Visa and MasterCard. If you and I go buy a cup of coffee and I swipe it and it's $15 for our snack and coffee or whatever, Visa, MasterCard, they're going to charge 2%, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
2%. They didn't add any value. The coffee doesn't taste any better. The vendor didn't.
What you got the convenience of being able to swipe a card and not carry cash. We've somehow can think that we're paying for the convenience.
Right.
We can also borrow that and pay an interest rate. So we're using a loan service.
Right.
That's what we're paying that.
So watch what Web3 does. Instead of that's like, it's fine if I'm buying you and I to spend $10 for a cup of coffee, right? Mm-hmm. That's fine. They're going to get their 2% of $10.
Yes.
Okay, fine. But what if instead of 2%, I swipe it and it's a tenth of a penny? What would you, if you were a vendor, if you were a merchandiser, if you were somebody selling something?
You wouldn't like it. Your profits right down when you do that. They're charging 2% because it's making them money.
They're charging 2%. They're skimming off of you as a provider.
Well, they're saying they're providing me with a service to borrow money.
But what if I can provide the same service for
Yeah.
a tenth of a penny?
And then can you lend these people the money? Can they use this credit card and have 20,000?
They can use it however they want. So here's where we're going. Let's just, like some of the new legislation that's out, let's just pretend I've got let's just say that I've got $1 million in cryptocurrency right now, right? And I've done smart investing and I've got cryptocurrency as an example. Well, if I have $1 million there, but the balance on my mortgage is $400,000, why shouldn't I be able to take a loan against my own cryptocurrency, be my own bank, instead of using a bank that I'm paying interest to?
Wow.
Why don't I just use, I don't need to get rid of my cryptocurrency. I can take a loan from myself, pay off the mortgage, and then pay myself back. I can be my own bank.
I've never even, it's just
These
such
are
a
ideas
radical idea, but I mean...
I can be more efficient. Yeah. I don't need a bank to get in my way. I don't need a government to get in my way. I don't need a politician to get in my way. I need all you people to get out of the way and let the entrepreneurs take over. Because we're going to change the world.
Good.
So these are things with Web3. So we stood up.
Yeah, we accept so much as being normal, don't we? We just suck it up, and this is such a great idea as an alternative.
But there's no, if you have a great idea, like say you have an engine that runs on water. You have an automobile engine that runs on water.
Don't tell ChatGPT to brainstorm it with you and then send it up to the cloud.
Well, or just look at the history and find out who's done that in the past.
Yeah, who's plagiarized
Who bought the patent.
Yeah.
Who bought the patent and stowed it in their basement so you have to buy petroleum products.
Yeah, greed and power.
Right?
It's mine, mine, mine.
So we talked to this Web3 guy and pretty much went around the room, gave ideas and stuff, and it was just like, I'm sorry, your idea is not going to work. I mean, that was the takeaway.
Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't really have an idea. He was just selling another product.
Well, it was in his mind, it was a good idea. But when you bounce it off of small business owners, entrepreneurs, creators, business owners.
So it's quite a brutal environment. Do you think you actually should do that. You've got to be, it's like being on Shark Tank, isn't it? Have you seen that show?
I've heard of it. I've seen it once or twice.
Yeah, and you've got billionaires saying whether it's a good idea. It is quite brutal, but it's also what you'd want to know. You don't want to keep going with this idea if it's got flaws that you haven't foreseen.
Well, it's going to save you a lot of time and effort and money.
Yeah.
But the takeaway was, we try to frame it up so it's very kind and gentle, but also very truthful. It's like
brutal.
It's like, Sarah, I love you. You're amazing, but your breath
sucks.
Your breath smells like sewer water. It's like And last night I went to an event. It was a career day for a bunch of high schoolers. There's 100 high schoolers. It was pretty fun. Not really fun for me, but fun for them. It was a good experience. So right before the event, they had some salad out there. So they had pizza and salad, so I'm not going to eat their pizza. So I ate the salad. And so I looked at my friend Banks, and I'm like, do I have stuff in my teeth? Because you just eat a salad. You don't want to talk to 100 students with like a green thing in your tooth. Mm-hmm. So, but we were there, and it was.
If you want to do that, go to your photographs and then reverse it, and you use it as a mirror.
Oh, look at you.
So that's what you do. That becomes a mirror because you're filming. You're not filming. It's just going to be a photo, and then you can see. So if you don't have a mirror, you've got your phone. I did not
have a mirror. Note to self. Thank you. So anyway, I don't know how we got onto the million cups. We talked about Web3. We talked about entrepreneur.
No, you were talking about the high schooler. The high school.
Well, that's where I left off, but I don't know how we got into that. Because we never know where we're going on this stuff. But did we close off the previous subject we were talking about?
Well, that was about my raccoon situation. I closed it off in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about Web3. We talked about entrepreneurs. That was the thing.
Yeah, and he was an entrepreneur, but he was causing the problem.
Yeah, so an entrepreneur that causes a problem, that's a thief. That's a criminal.
Yes, exactly.
that's a politician. So
I like the micro example of that.
I mean, it's
Hegelian
something.
dialect. No, it is. It's funny. Well, there it is. That's just if it's in politics at very high level, that filters through, and it came down at a very local, provincial level, doesn't it? Some hustlers up the road thinking I can make some money out of this rich bitch with a big house down the road.
Well, I always pay attention. It's like, how close is he, and how much does he know where he knew that you haven't been there?
Yeah, well, he saw the house being painted. But he must be new in the area because I've been in that house for 26 years. You've never seen me before go in and out, so he's new to town.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Him and his new raccoon.
That was the part that this raccoon is not behaving like it should.
He's a pet raccoon. Yeah,
and what a hustle. I mean, in a way, I saw the poetry of it just from a poetic standpoint. It's like, wow, you're on a real hustle. You could do that. You could go to all these big houses, come out. Now, his raccoon, if he was doing that, the raccoon hadn't done it right. He's in his cage in the car. So this guy's literally going through your garbage can, going like that, putting little holes in everything.
You're gonna go to the local diner one day, and you're going to go into the diner, and he's going to be sitting there with his raccoon, and they're going to have lunch together. It's like,
and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick his meatloaf up, and I'm going to stick it on his head.
Well, I will say, if you want to. Well,
Tony said get cameras out there, but I was going to ask you. I don't want to do that. I've never had. I don't want cameras at my house. I've never wanted that. I mean, I might if I.
Well, if they're facing away from your house.
Yeah, I could do that, and that's probably the logic. And we do have power down at the gate, or I could just take the garbage to the transfer station. That is where I'm immediately going. I don't want this encounter with garbage and this guy anymore. I don't want him doing that again to me in a month. So I will call him because he gave me his card. I just want him exit stage left. I never want him around again.
Yeah, I mean, if that maybe is legit, but I mean,
our thought experiment is that this is not.
What if he's legit?
And what if he's not?
What if he's really
legit?
Good person?
If he's a really good person, then there's no. I was lovely to him. I said thank you for letting the wildlife free. Thank you for stopping and picking up. Because at that point, it wasn't until I went to the post-mortem of it that my mind even went to have I been. So I was great. I was a great neighbour. Handled it well. Never have to see you again. There was nothing. There was no bad energy. I just told him that he was marvellous.
Well, I'm going to tell you where my mind went was we don't even have problems with our trash here because we don't have dead animal carcasses in our trash.
I feed my dogs dead animals.
Yeah. So it's like we don't have raccoon problems. We can let the neighbors have the raccoons.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any smell, would there?
No, there's no smell.
Yeah.
Well, we recycle all of our scraps.
Well,
we can go like 2 or 3 weeks before we have a full trash can.
Yeah.
Like we don't produce waste.
No.
Like almost nothing.
Christ, I produce so much of it.
It's like I produce almost nothing.
3 full garbage cans a week.
So last night was interesting. I about a week ago, I got a note from a girl. She had reminded me that I said I would support her with her career day. It was just up in Tavares.
Okay.
Tavares.
Tavares, I call it, yeah.
It was up in Tavares, and it was just for like 100 teenagers, and it really, when you do good things for other people, you get good.
Oh, because you
get returned back to you.
Yes, exactly. But the world is built like that.
It was just amazing because.
And the career day is talking to them about what they might want to do for a living or what they do want to do, giving them options. What's the structure of a career day?
So the idea was that there was 12 professionals from different different
genres,
career fields, whatever.
Yeah.
And they were there it was like a speed dating. It was like round robin, where I'd have 5 students for 5 minutes. And then they'd ring a bell, and then they'd switch to the next table. And they would go around. There was like 5 or 6 students, and they would just switch. And over the course of like an hour.
And what was your speciality?
So they wanted me to come and talk about holistic natural health, be a holistic doctor. And I said, I love you, I want to do that, but I don't want to talk about holistic natural health.
It's not the right forum.
I only do it, the holistic natural health stuff to help people. And I do it for free because I love helping people.
Yeah, but this is career advice.
This is career.
Yes, it's different.
Yeah, and I don't want to...
I agree with you.
I don't want to put this idea in their head that this is a good career because it's really not. Like if I didn't... Like I know how to pull it off, but for a brand new kid out of school, that's not something that...
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about it, but I'm not going to advocate it as a career. So she said, well, what would you talk about? I said, I mean, if I had to talk about anything, it would be aviation.
Yes, I was going to ask that.
Because aviation's like my thing. I love it. I wake up every day. I think of every time a helicopter flies by, I'm thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
I know.
But you didn't, you made sure it was technology?
So what I did was, she reminded me that I committed to this. And I'm like, oh, crap, I totally forgot.
Got to get a lesson plan together.
So I not only lesson plan, but she said I'm going to have like an 8-foot table. I can put out anything.
And
I'm
you've
like,
got to pick which area of expertise is
like,
where do I best
God.
apply it?
So what I ended up doing was I'm like, okay, I've been flying since 1981. I flew gliders and I've flown helicopters and I've flown jets and I've done all this stuff. So what I did was I dug into my attic or my garage and I pulled out my flight suit.
Oh, you did it on aviation?
My helmet, which I realized I got emotional because my helmet was issued to me almost exactly 40 years ago because it was 1985. I had just graduated from the Air Force Academy. I went to flight school. And right about this month, 40 years ago, I was issued my helmet.
Yeah.
I was like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So got a lot of hours under that thing.
Yes, God, so much experience.
But it's in still good shape. I cleaned it up a little bit and I put that on display. I put my leather jacket. I wore my flight suit with my, it had the cool.
You wore it?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I know, my military patches.
So you really acted the
my
part.
little name tag. And
that was so cool.
I had my flight scarf on and, I had to play the part. And then I took my JetBlue stuff, like the scarf, the JetBlue scarf and the JetBlue, the little wings, that you put on your chest and stuff. And
little stripes.
The little stripes, the four bar.
Epaulets.
The 4-bar epaulets for captain. And so I put those there, and then I put my little model of an airplane. It was the airplane I was.
It's like show and tell at school.
It was like show and tell, but you know what? So the girl that invited me.
Were you talking about flying or recommending it for a living? What was your angle?
So what I did was thankfully the girl who invited me there said, just so you know, there's a good chance the students are just going to sit there and listen to you with a blank stare. Like they're not going to synthesize intelligent questions and talk to you. They're just going to sit and listen and absorb. And they
be entertained.
They may not ask. So you might want to lead with something that's like, ask questions and stuff. I'm like, shoot, I can get anybody to talk. So, I mean, even from being friendly at the post office to interrogating them about, in a prisoner of war camp, I can get them to talk. So I sat down at this table and I had everything out and they're going around. And so I was thinking, okay, how do I get these kids to loosen up, right? Because first of all, if you're coming and there's all this military aviation stuff and I'm in a uniform and, I'm tall, I'm powerful looking. And it's like,
and these are 18-year-olds.
And these are just impressionable 18-year-olds. So as soon as they sat down, there's like 5 or 6 chairs in front of each table. I said, lean in. And they're all like, they did what you just did. They're opened up their eyes like, what? Lean in. I said, just so you know, you're at the cool table. Just telling you, And it got them to smile and laugh. And I said, hey, so the world out there knows me as Dr. Phillips, but today I'm Captain Phillips. Now I want to talk to you about how that came to be. But first, I wanted to let you know, and I said, my friends call me Tia Jolie, and I shook hands with all of them, and they told me their names, and then I asked each one of them.
5 minutes is up at that point.
No, I said, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful name, cool, neat. I love your shirt. Oh, chili peppers. God. So I just immediately made rapport, like within a minute, 30 seconds, minute rapport with all of them. And I said, what do y'all love to do? What brings you joy and what brings you passion? So I'm not talking about aviation yet.
That's a good question.
And they said this, a few answers. Some of them
were they quite
answers.
Spontaneous with the answers?
No, they were actually very reserved. Not many people have goals and dreams, evidently.
Oh, God, that's fucking
It was really sad. That part was sad. I found that to be very
depressing.
Very surprising and sad.
Yeah.
Like I would have thought one of them would say, I'd be a scientist or a veterinarian or, None of them said politician. Good. So we go around and she said that, I just talked to them and just real briefly. And if one of them had a spark, like maybe one of them's an athlete. I'm
Yeah.
a pro, I'm going to be an athlete. I'm a soccer
You were
player
going to
or whatever.
give to the one with the
I was
energy.
going to, whatever.
And you just got all these blank faces.
But this is a good thing. So I found out what they love doing. And whether or not they said anything that they loved, I said, well, listen, when I was a child, my earliest memory was about flying, specifically airplanes. And it brings me joy and happiness. So I decided when I was very young to do that. And something happened. The world, everybody told me that, oh, that's very difficult. Only a very small percentage of people can do that.
But you believed you could.
It's expensive. You're not. I had so many people tell me that that's not doable. It's not possible. Oh, only 1 out of 20,000 people get to be an Air Force pilot and all this. I got all of this pushback.
They were just trying to prepare you for disappointment. It was just,
And it's so sad.
But in your mind, it's like, no, fuck it, I can do this.
But I told them, I said, whatever. I said, if you take nothing out, we're going to talk about aviation here, but if you take nothing else, if you want to do something, if you want to have your own business, if you want to have a certain career, do not let somebody tell you you can't do it.
Good.
If it's going to bring you joy and happiness and you want to do it, go do it. And if it turns out to be the wrong thing for you, you can change. Go do something else. And if you want to do 2 or 3 or 4 different things, you can do it. But get started on something, stay started until you change your mind.
And did you overlay, believe in yourself is what I get. Just believe in yourself that you can do it. That's the thing.
Yeah, and that's a really tough thing to say, because what does that even mean, to believe in yourself?
My dad used to say to me, the world's your oyster and you can do anything you put your mind to. And he said that from a young age. And I just believed it. So I think that might be something that parents would say, but I just thought, well, why not?
So
but from what you're saying, now I just want to go. So these kids are 18, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Roughly.
well, some of them were 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So 10th grade would be what, 15, 16, I guess.
Okay, well that's
so. I mean, still, but late, mid to late teens.
So let's go back what you call the scandemic. Let's go back 5 years. And then we have this pandemic, and then they are alienated from people around them. They have to be behind a screen. It's all just really freaked out. Everyone's freaked out.
Yeah, it's tragedy.
And there's something that might have, because it's really shocking and disappointing that you've got such mute people. I mean, at that point, you should be asking a lot of questions. I mean, I should be wanting to settle you down to some degree if I'm in authority. But they didn't have any idea, or didn't even sound like they had many social skills. And was that something that was robbed from them because of something?
I think you're right. Sarah, that's a really good insight. In fact, this morning I told Robin, because she, I got back a little later and we didn't talk about it last night. She was tired, so we just talked about it this morning. And she reminded us when we were children, when there was a career day, say in middle school there's a career day or something, and somebody was talking, maybe there's a firefighter or, a veterinarian or something. Somebody was doing something, right? Those tables were swarmed. Yeah. I mean, we as students, if there was a professional doing something, we
wanted to know.
Even if it was a heavy equipment operator, man, the guy was swarmed.
Well, it was a novelty. There's something going on that I want to know about, or I'm interested in.
So I think it's a very fascinating thing that, we've, in a matter of just a couple generations, we've gone from swarming, asking about careers, asking questions to
sitting there quite limply.
Like almost just despondent.
Despondent, that's right. That's kind of how it sounds at its worst. Yeah.
But the good news is, out of 100, so my message was this. I would basically go through and I'd say,
don't let anyone tell you can't do it.
My family was pretty broke. I mean, we didn't have money, but I had this goal, this dream, and I found a way to do it. And you can do it too, whatever you want to do, whether it's aviation or something else. Now, let me tell you about aviation. Then I go in and talk to them about the fact that I went to school with the Air Force Academy, went to flight school, and I showed pictures. I took the pictures off my wall. I showed them, this is the airplane. This is my first choice, which was a C-141. It's called a Starlifter. When you turn on the news and the president's in South America and there's the limousines and Secret Service people, somebody had to get them there, and that was us. And if you see troops getting dropped out of an airplane, that was us. And if you see Americans in another country that need to be swapped out of the embassy and That was us. So I've been to 50 countries. And if you want to travel, it's a great way to do it because you get paid to go see the world.
So you'd also set the bar real high from
Right.
what you can get from life.
Right. I wanted to
Don't
build...
have a measly little idea. Think big. This is what it could
Right.
be.
I wanted to build a dream because if
Yeah.
they're sitting there despondent across from me,
Yeah.
there's a chance for me to influence.
Yes. Well, definitely going to...
It's not about aviation. It's about the idea of opening your mind up to dreaming again.
Yes, exactly.
Because as a child, you dream, but as now as a teenager, have you been beaten up that much? So I don't know. So then I went from there. I went to, I said, after flying around the world to 50 countries, I started a family. I wanted to be home, so I became an instructor, and I showed them the T-38. I said, the Thunderbirds that you see flying the performance airplanes for the Thunderbirds flying F-16, prior to that plane, this was the plane they flew. And I was an instructor in this for 3 years. And it was fun, and it's supersonic, and it was a really good experience. And if you want to do this, I'm not sure they fly this particular plane anymore, but if you want to fly...
It's an option.
If you're a college graduate, you can do this.
Yeah. Yeah,
so I was just trying to get
Well, you're just trying to tell them something they might not have thought of. That was unavailable conceptually, and now you've made it available. But that doesn't have to be aviation. It could be anything large in whatever. So that's nice.
And then I transitioned. I said, after the Air Force, I was unemployed with kids. I had a family, so I didn't have income. But I needed to solve the problem. So I got some jobs until I could find another plane to fly. And this is the plane I flew, and I showed them the corporate airplane, the 400 XP, and I said, I actually became an instructor and an examiner pilot in this plane. Yeah. And then I got found by a company called JetBlue, and if I want to go fly airplanes, I can go back now and fly for JetBlue. And none of that impressed them. None of that impressed them. I'm like, okay. I said, do any of you like to travel? One or two hands. Where have you been? I said, if you look to fly, if you don't want to fly the airplane itself, there are other things you can do that are tangential to the aviation, being a pilot. The aviation career, if you like to work on electronics, you can do that. If you want to work on customer service. If you want
to be a flying waitress,
that's
what I did.
I did. I told her. There was a flight attendant. My girlfriend Lenka was in the table behind me. I said, the girl in the green there is a flight attendant.
Been to every country,
And let me tell you about that. Yeah. If you want
So did they respond more to the travel aspect?
Yes.
Because they think something's out there and they're curious about it.
They responded more to the travel instead of being in charge of the airplane.
And I think if you sit there and you're talking about flying whatever what's the biggest, fastest plane that you flew for the military? Not the biggest, the smallest.
I flew an F-16.
Okay, F-16. Yeah. When they're conceptualizing that in their head, they're not even thinking that's remotely attainable to them. You'd really have to give them a bit straight, because they might not have ever heard that. But the travelling part is. Right. And everyone wants to travel. I wouldn't care if I never left the American continent again. Because I'm not curious about it anymore. But I was, and that's why I wanted to do it. So I recommend that you do it.
I love what you said, because I feel the same way. I love where I live.
Yeah.
And there's the Grand Canyon, and there's
beautiful.
Yellowstone.
You have everything
so cool.
here. Beaches, yeah.
So
they all want to travel.
So I talked to travel, and some of the lights went on. And then I said, and we just talked real briefly about travel. And this is chop, 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 very quick, because you only have 5 or 6 minutes, right? Yeah. So then I said, do any of you so I rounded out the career. I said, if you're good with people and you like to solve problems, maybe you could be customer service. If you work for an airline and you want to work on engines or throw bags or cut lines, whatever you want to do, either in the military or the airlines, you're probably going to find something you can do.
And no one said, I want to be a firefighter.
I even told them that. I said, you can be a firefighter.
But no one had an idea. All they articulate. They didn't want to articulate it. They just wanted you to say what you were there to say, and they were just going to listen. I knew what I wanted to do from age 12. Right.
Well, and I knew when I was a kid too, but I can't say no one, because there were some people that were outliers. There were exceptions.
Of course. Yes, yeah.
But it was pretty rare. Now, what was cool was the thing that sparked them was some of them were sparked by travel. And then I said, how does traveling for free sound? Because if you say you're a booking agent for an airline,
you get the discounts.
You could actually get discounted or free flying. Like you and your spouse, your partner, you can actually jump on an empty seat and go someplace, right? And they're like, really? Now they're starting. It's hitting home. And I said, do any of you like to make money? Yes. And they're all like, yeah. They're all about
money and travel.
All of them raise their hands for money.
I mean, basically, it's leisure there that they're working for, isn't it? Money and travel. They don't actually want a job.
Well, I told them.
They want what the benefits of that gives them.
It's interesting you say that, because the way I framed it up, I said, well, so here's the thing. If you are willing to work for it, you can be a senior captain like me and my peers, where you get in there, you work hard, you study, you work. And the reward is...
For a long time.
For a long time. The reward is, after 19 years with this company, you can make, in my case, $365 an hour if that's what you want. And then there's time and a half. So you can make over $500 an hour. And their eyes were like this big. I said, but what you have to hear is it requires work. It requires dedication. It requires discipline.
Gosh.
So even if it's not this, you can do something else.
And in the case of being a pilot, you've got to have a decent IQ. I mean, you've got a lot of freaking retain.
So here's the punchline. So the 1 hour, whatever, hour and a half
speed
passes.
Dating.
The speed dating passes. And afterwards, there were actually some people that doubled back to my table, brought their parents with them, and said, we want to know more about what you were talking about.
So they're the ones that you're there to reach. Yes, that's great. That makes me happy.
I know, it made me happy
too. Good.
I was like, oh, what?
That's good.
And interestingly, all of them were girls.
Oh.
And they brought their parents with them. One lady came back to me. Her son's an instructor pilot up in Astatula or something. I don't. It's north
Leesburg.
of here. Yeah, somewhere up there.
There's an airport in Leesburg. Maybe it's there.
Yeah, I don't know. She just dropped me his card and dropped me their little brochure.
I don't think Astatula has an airport.
But it was fascinating, because I thought, well, that was a waste of time. I mean, I'm just talking.
Yeah.
And then
all of a sudden,
I'm packing up, and people came.
Yeah, that's
beautiful. And this is my dad. He owns three GNCs here locally, and this is my mom, and she's stay at home mom, and she's doing this. So the connections we made after the formal meeting was done, and I was packing up my table, made it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
And
worthwhile to the ones that didn't circle back, because you don't know what you've left them with that they were lying in bed at night thinking about, right? They could be Googling something now. Well, you could have inspired them. So you've touched everyone, and maybe you didn't touch the ones that were really closed off. But whatever that was, it was good for them. It got them thinking. It got them to stir a bit of the ambitious juices. What do you want from life? Do you want to travel? Do you want to be rich? What do you want?
Well, what I told Robin was...
probably not to work that hard.
Yeah, right. What I told Robin was, to me, it was very fulfilling to have those few people at the end double back to me. But going into that experience, I wanted to do for them what I wish somebody would have done for me. Like, I would have loved to have met a pilot that was military, corporate, and airline. And, who would just sit there and answer my questions. I would have loved...
So you should consider doing that again. How long was it? An hour and a half? An hour and maybe 30 minutes there, 30? So it's like 3 hours of your life. But really valuable.
3 or 4 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will do it again. I told the lady I would do it again, but I don't...
It's definitely a service thing, but I think it's necessary.
But repeating myself, I didn't
well, then why don't you do one aviation, one, because of your holistic medicine and your PhD and and then do one about Web 3 and do your techie side and vary it for you? Because I was going to say, that's a lot to keep saying over and over again, isn't it?
That's what I found
And then
tedious,
you might deaden. So, but you've got such you're like a polymath. You've got all these things. So change it up for you. But your message is still going to be the same anyway.
The message is the same.
Yeah.
You're very perceptive, because walking away from that experience, first of all, I wanted to give...
I mean, you could talk about farming and agriculture.
I know. I wanted to give what I wanted when I was a child. So I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be that person that I wish I had 45 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So I did that. Great. I checked that box. But I appreciated having other people there. Like there was a Farmer Banks. I was just talking about him.
I met him the other night.
Yeah, he was right behind me.
Yeah.
And so he was there talking about farming, which is good. I think people need to talk about farming.
Yeah. They've got to have a kick in the arse because you've got to choose something for yourself. You're either going to go to university or 18, you're going to get a job. And I think that there's this model in Europe which is different from America. And America, it was you work really hard and you can have a few jobs. In Europe, Western Europe particularly, is that you want to have a 35-hour work week, enough money to pay your bills, and you want leisure time. And I feel like that has affected the younger generation more. They don't want to be just busting their ass in a job that they fucking hate. They want to extract something from life, which is travel, learning, interacting with other people, and a decent life. But the working your ass off for it is like lost its lustre.
So knowing what you know now, if you could just teach the next generation, like they're coming through high school, what advisement, what are the core principles you would teach them?
Well, I would have to say that everything that you conceive of, you can do in the quantum field. So I'd come in with a metaphysical side.
Do you think that would blow them off?
I don't know. It depends. But I would have to teach them that the possibilities of your imagination. Lie in bed at night and really imagine what you want to do. And then you can research that. Or you could just ask for inspiration and then see it in full technicolor and have that come alive in a vision. And I would say then take the logical steps to get to that. And it's totally doable. Yes, you can. But don't have little thoughts about your life. Don't be told, no, you can't do it. And I would tell them to exercise your imagination because it is possible. So there would always be that metaphysical bent. But I believe that is the structure of reality. But we're not told to use our imaginations. We're not really taught to dream big. Some people are. But generally, because you're saying that you've got a load of lackluster kids who aren't really interested in having a conversation or asking questions about anything, maybe that's because they believe they can't do it, that someone else can, but it's not for them. And I would say it is for you, but you've got to engage your mind. You've got to engage your willpower to then take the steps. For me, they were much easier than you. I got a job with a commuter airline. I knew what to say. I got the job. I went to British Airways. It was the only year they didn't require you to speak a foreign language, so I was very fortunate about that. And I got my job. I knew what my career path was, and I had everything I wanted at age 20. And I took the steps to do that. So you have to take the steps. You've got to put in the work. But think big. Have a big idea of what you think you could do. And be an entrepreneur. Why not? I mean, that to me, you don't want to have to work for someone. You don't want to be told what to do. You want to call the shots, and you do want to make money. I mean, without making money, you're not going to understand how to be happy anyway, because money isn't going to bring you happiness. It's just not going to happen. So I would encourage a lot of youngsters, make money a focus, sure.
So if you were to advise a young entrepreneur today, what if somebody
have a very big idea of what this world is capable of delivering to you. What
if somebody came to you and said, I don't want to work for somebody else and I don't want to go to college? What advisement would you have for them?
I would have to, are you prepared to work hard? Are you prepared to think outside the box? Mm-hmm. Do you believe in yourself? Are you very capable? Because you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is. You're going to have to cause an income stream for yourself. See, I would not even give them advice. I would ask some questions because you've got to believe in your abilities, and you've got to believe it's possible. You've got to believe that you can achieve that. That has to be there. And I think that, but unless you understand the structure of reality from a quantum metaphysical level, which is what I talk about, and this is just an idea, but if that's real, you can pretty much do anything. But you've got to surf right across to it. It's there. It's already written into this program.
We may have talked about this previously, but there's this dichotomy of thought that, there's this idea of freedom and equal opportunity. The idea of equal opportunity has kind of been tainted, and the notion of equal what outcome. That represents, it's obfuscated.
Yeah, it's not outcome though.
No, but that's the whole point. I think that there's a couple generations here that are expecting equal outcomes.
Right, there you go.
And they see the people with all this. Maybe you're driving up in your new vehicle, and they think they deserve that, but they've not done what you've done.
That,
they've not put forth the sacrifice, the studying, the reading, the practicing, the failing. I mean,
right.
You and I probably have failed more than most people at things. I mean, I'm the biggest failure I know.
I can, yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
I've failed at so many things.
But learned invaluable lessons in order to not fail.
I mean, literally, I suck at growing food in Florida. I've failed. I've killed so many plants. I should be put in jail for all the murders I've done. But
now you're abundant, though. Yes.
But now I'm good at it.
What it was your failures that taught you how to succeed,
Yeah.
because that's what you compare. That's your comparison, isn't it?
Yep. So I would say if there was a brand new person that did, like if there was a kid from high school and didn't know what he was going to do or she was going to do, I would say look around you and identify problems.
Yeah.
Ask people what problems do they need solved. Like that's a legitimate question. One of the things that I see right now, like that's a turnkey thing you could do, is wash windows. How many people do you know that are really good at washing windows? How many people do you know that love washing their own windows?
I paid $1,000 to have my windows.
That's what I'm saying. So you could have almost no money,
a ladder and a bucket.
A ladder, a bucket, some gloves. Some gloves, some basic
for $100
stuff.
you could sort.
And you could go and just go, look, I'm in the neighborhood.
But wouldn't you then need to be bonded and insured and licensed though?
Yeah,
because if you fell off a ladder, there is a process, but it's still not that you could still do that. So are you willing to do what other people don't want to do?
I mean, there's always going to be the things you have to do.
Yeah.
In the Air Force, we had an adage. It's better to beg forgiveness than ask permission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's
like,
let's just hope it doesn't happen.
If I go to your house with and
I fall off the ladder, I'm just leaving. I'm not going to sue you.
My bucket, my sponge, and all this stuff, and I'm ready to wash your windows, and you don't ask me, are you licensed and bonded?
Right.
If you don't ask me,
yes,
and you're going to pay me $500 cash for your whole house.
Which is how it always used to be, and it always worked like that.
I would do it.
I think the other thing is I was motivated really early to work because I had to, because my parents weren't going to take care of me from age 16 or 16 to 17 right over that Christmas. So I had to work. So I was in a nursing home and I did a night shift, and it was after Margaret Thatcher had closed all the state-run mental hospitals. So all the people that were in the state-run mental hospitals had to be picked up by the private sector. And where I was in Brighton and Hove, there were massive Victorian houses with like 8 bedrooms. And then you could set it up. Now, a rest home was different from a nursing home. A nursing home, you had to have a registered nurse. A rest home, you didn't. So I, at age 17, got this job. It paid really well at night. And I'd have to give medicine, but all these people were slightly psychotic. I won't go into that now because I wrote that in Is This the Best God Could Do?
That.
And in the Starside Prophet, but it was fucking horrendous. And then I had a job as a nanny, and then so I kept working in order to provide for myself. So I was very motivated to succeed because I didn't like doing menial work. So I had to do that though to support myself. So with my children, my son, my middle son, he didn't leave home until he was 28. I made things very comfortable for him, and I was happy that he could live at home. We had a big enough house. He was in the guest house. We were all good. But why I worked hard and succeeded in the way that I wanted to, because I was forced to, because I came from that was a kind of a shitty upbringing in my parents. But if you're a parent with a child living at home and you're happy for that and you're interacting and you love it, it's going to demotivate them to some degree. But maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe just be at home and enjoy your family. I didn't have that, so that's what motivated me. But I was willing to do dirty work, but I knew that I didn't want to do that forever because I hated menial work.
Another person came to my mind. There's a girl named Sandy. She's probably 75 years old. She basically puts out. She's actually where you used to live, on the lake there, across the street. There's a lady there's a camper, and every Sunday or every weekend she put out her little nursery.
Yes, I've seen her. I bought some plants from her.
Yeah, she's so
great.
Sweet. So
yes.
I only go there once in a while because. Mm-hmm. But like, if there's something specific I'm looking for, I'll go there and check it out. But she, think about her business. If you look what she's done, it costs her basically nothing to operate that. And when you just sit there for 10 minutes and watch her take in handfuls of cash.
Really?
Just cash. And you put a bunch of seeds in these things and you grow these, you spend. Yeah. You're literally growing money, and she's getting a cash business. Yeah. Every weekend.
So she's just got the little plastic pots, which are nothing. She's got some potting soil. You've got to give it a couple of months. You've got to nurture them, water them, and then you've got a product, haven't you?
You've got tables. You She's basically has like
Anyone
a bunch
can
of
do
tables.
that. You could do
Anybody
bales of
can do
hay
that.
if you needed to.
And you sit there and you're selling. It's a cash business.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, just watching her, she's probably making $500.
Good for her.
$500 a day, I'm going to say.
I bought geraniums from her once, and they were fantastic.
You know, I went there, I bought like...
Because your last year, what you plant last year, you might have to wait a year to get these big abundant plants going, but then you've got the cash crop the following year, so there's a little bit of patience.
So, I mean, I just bought like maybe 10 plants from her and dropped like $30.
Yeah.
Right? That's just me buying just a little thing. There's people buying trays of stuff.
Yes.
So if that's $30 and you scale that up all day...
I love it.
You know, she's probably pulling in.
She's out there in the fresh air.
Right.
She's meeting people. She's not working for anyone.
Right.
She's doing it all herself. She probably loves gardening because a lot of people that are doing that love it. I love it out there planting seeds.
But I'm just thinking, you know, if you're going to be an entrepreneur and people are willing to buy your stuff, like right now out front there's I had this probably a quarter acre out front it looks like junk now, but it's really a lot of native Florida flowers and plants and stuff. 2 years ago, one of my girlfriends came and she wanted to grow some stuff, so I gave her space, and then she stopped wanting to grow stuff because it's work.
Yeah.
But the stuff we put up there is growing and it's still abundant. We have so many sweet potatoes that are volunteers up there. I probably have 3 bushels of the purple sweet potatoes.
Are they ripe now?
Pretty soon they will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
over
the
Christmas.
end of the season.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I had zero. My investment was 2 years ago helping her grow some stuff.
And now you've got all this.
And now I've got like bushels of sweet potatoes. All I got to do is pull them out of the ground.
And it's so good
Those
for
things
you.
sell. Those will sell for $5
But
each.
you're plant based and they're beautiful, so you can put one in the oven. That's good food for you, isn't it?
That was breakfast the other day.
Oh, absolutely lovely.
Because you could just take one of those. We cook them all at once instead of heating the oven all the time. But you can put them over an open fire, a campfire, and still just cook them, you know.
And very nutritious, so that's great.
But my point is, for virtually nothing, when you go to like the store and buy those are the purple, the Okinawan ones.
Yeah.
I think they're Okinawan. The purple on purple. Delicious. They don't need any sugar, no butter, nothing. You just eat them like they are. They're like $5 each.
Yeah.
And you could grow basically an infinite amount in the ground just doing that.
I was driving to my son's house the other day and I'm just coming down to the lake and there's this kid and he's probably about 10 years old and he's got a lemonade stand set up. And he's sitting there, and I really liked it because he put himself under the oak tree. His parents' house were behind, and it looked really nice. He decorated it with yellow. It was eye-catching. But I don't want to drink lemonade that some 10-year-olds made, so I just take a $20 and I give it to him because I really like
I've done the same thing.
I really like the fact that you're out there hustling.
I've done the same thing.
He was so happy with the $20, and I really just appreciated his little entrepreneurial
Oh, I love you so much. I do the same thing. I was like, listen, I'm pulling over because I want to support you, but I don't want the lemonade. So I'm going to give you this money, and the next person that comes by, give them an extra one.
Oh, that's nice.
Just give them the next one.
Oh, I see. That's really sweet.
And
yeah,
so
you're asking him to be generous as well.
I want to teach him
in generosity
to pay it forward.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like, I don't want it for me, but the next person to come by, ask them if they want an extra one. That somebody prior said there's an extra one. So if you want another one for a family.
Yeah.
So I'm paying it forward. I'm teaching this concept.
Did you ever do that with the tolls and pay people's tolls behind you? At Christmas, I did it for about 2 years. When we had the toll plaza, were you here then? When we had the toll plaza,
so I'm going to say I've not done it with tolls, and the reason is because I almost always did the coin one back when that happened, and also when I was much younger, I didn't have any extra money. I was that person that it was all I could do to pay for gas, if I'm being honest. So
I like the idea, and it wasn't very much. It's like $1 or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't have a dollar.
I remember seeing the reaction of the people behind, and it wasn't the dollar. It was just the fact that someone had done it, and you could just see that it was beautiful. You just paid something forward. There's no skin off my nose paying your soul. You just thought, oh, that was really... And so you've just completely created a beautiful environment by something that was just minutely generous, right? And it was lovely. So paying it forward. And every religion speaks about paying it forward because ultimately giving is the same as receiving. You never give anything because you're actually going to have it dumped right back onto you. And that's how the world goes around. And I think paying it forward is beautiful. I love it.
I like it. So we're getting to the end of our time, I think, but you have some projects you're working on, and you wanted to cover some things.
This is. Do you like the cover? This is my.
I think it's beautiful.
Yes, isn't this great?
That is so pretty. Tell me what am I looking at?
So this is called A New Religion, and it's the doctrine, and I'm going to be reading this out. Yes, darling, have a look. I'm going to be reading from this on the next episode, and
that's such a pretty cover.
It's beautiful. I designed that.
What? That's really pretty.
Yeah.
I like how
you
simple
inspired
this
all the
is.
pictures.
Oh,
Easy to read.
I don't even need glasses to read it.
Yes, I made the font larger. Well, it was such a. What size is that? Maybe.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So pretty.
And I got that yesterday, and then my daughter-in-law, and that was. I've been wanting to do this for 25 years, and this is a doctrine. This is an airtight belief system, and. I'm going to record it, and I will put it on the website so you can listen to it. It takes an hour and a half to read.
This is beautiful. I like having pictures on one side and then the
writing I kept on the right.
Side.
I like because everyone prefers to read from the right hand page than the left, so the illustrations are on the left.
This is really well done.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
So. Whenever you're ready to proceed on this, we'll do it.
Well, I'm going to record it, and then the next episode we can... Oh, sorry, darling, I should have got up.
Nope, you're good.
I've had my legs crossed, so I'll probably get up and fall over. But, so next week, we can dive into this a bit. Now I've actually got it in front of me.
That really happened quickly. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank
you. Now it's going to be a cliffhanger for the others.
Yeah.
So how's your week looking? Anything special coming up?
Not really.
No?
What's going on? It's my son's birthday. He'll be 32. That's on the 24th. What do you say? The 15th? Yeah. So I'll just be writing. I've got another book.
Don't ask me what date it is. I never know what date. I don't even know what day of the week it is. It doesn't really matter,
does it really? It doesn't. When you're working
I wake up
for
in the morning and I say, oh, Sarah's coming today.
And actually next week we have a guest coming.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
But let's not say his name.
Nope.
I don't even know what he wants to talk about.
But
you invited him.
I'm going to ask him a lot of questions.
Well, I need to get another microphone keyed up and get it all trimmed in, and I need to get some balancing and stuff. This will be a first.
Yeah, it's going to be our first guest.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So maybe the first of many. I'd love to have people and it's funny because
we'll keep it Soul Decodes. We'll keep the theme of it.
Well, one of the people I met it wasn't last night. It was the night before at a different networking event. The girl does T-shirts, like custom artwork T-shirts and stuff. And I told her about when people come here to Phillips Island. First of all, I don't have a logo or anything for Phillips Island, so I need that. I need a graphic artist for that.
PI.
But specifically, people come here and do shots. You've heard about doing shots at Phillips Island?
You gave me some shots when I first met you.
Yeah, and for those listening, it's not like alcohol. These are like superfruits. These are like really powerful nutrients, and they make you feel better like right away. And so when I have some people over, I give them shots at Phillips Island. And my friend that we're going to have next week said he wants to create a T-shirt. I did shots at Phillips Island.
Oh, good.
Like kind of like a throwback to the...
Yeah.
Remember growing up, they had the T-shirts for spring break? Mm-hmm. Kind of a throwback to that.
Right.
I did shots at Phillips Island, so I thought that would be cool. But then just...
And will you design all the super fruits underneath so people know that it's not vodka?
No, I think just...
It's kind of rock and roll. I did shots...
I think just kind of making it radical. I like keeping it mysterious and keep it radical.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
But then I thought, if we're going to start having guests on this show, maybe we can have a T-shirt that's like, or something that they can wear or show off that's like, I was a guest on Soul Decodes.
Okay, let's explore
And you know
that.
what I'm saying? Just
I like it.
It's like, I was a guest on Soul Decodes. What's Soul Decodes? And let them start talking about Soul Decodes.
Okay, great. That's good.
Oh, yeah, it's just an idea.
No, I love it.
Only because I'm a tangential thinker.
Yeah,
so.
That's great. Well, this will be our first guest next week, and then we'll start building around. It could just be a massive flop and it will suck, or it could be brilliant, right?
Well, I think that. What should our goal be? I don't want to spoil anything, but our goal is to. I think our goal is to just discover and make a new friend. And
the person that I met you already know, but he's quick to laugh and he was funny and he has some funny stories. Now, we can keep that in a context. So to me, I think it's going to be entertaining because he already was. That's why I asked him.
Okay, fair. So I think, we have to I would think we have to dovetail in Soul Decodes. Like, what does it all mean? Maybe we talk about the value of humor. What's humor mean in our lives and stuff?
Yeah.
Stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
Soul Decodes, you can go anywhere.
You can go
with
any
it.
direction.
So we don't really have to sort of think too hard because breathing is Soul Decodes.
I'm so done with thinking too hard.
Me too.
Okay, girl, well, wrap us up.
All
Any
right.
final thoughts?
No, I'm good. Looking forward to next week's episode. And this book, if you wanted to read it, A New Religion, It's a Doctrine, it's available on Amazon, Sarah Tirri, and it was published 2 days ago. And I'm going to make it available on my website, which I'm going to be launching soon, and it will be free on my website. If you didn't want to pay for it, but you'd want to read it, I'll give you the e-copy, and I'm going to record it so you could listen to that. If you want to donate $25, then you can do that on Amazon, and that's going to be building this church that I'm working to build.
So I'll go ahead and put a link in the show notes. I'll put a link in the show notes to this.
Brilliant.
And then... and you'll put it on, of course, Amazon, it's there.
Yeah.
Soul Decodes has a link to your Amazon store. So if y'all want to go to souldecodes.com and look for Sarah's bookstore, it'll take you right to the Amazon store. And it's called
A New Religion.
It's
a totally new way of conceptualizing God and your place in reality.
I'm so excited.
Good.
Thanks for coming out.
All right. Thank you, darling.
Be well.
Soul Decodes, a feature presentation, airs every Friday on the Earth Angel Media Network. This episode of Soul Decodes is sponsored and produced by Live Pure. Optimize your life by taking your health to the next level. Listen now to learn how Live Pure will make your world better.
Live Pure is an American-based distribution system of online portals that give discounted access to clean, potent, natural, and ethically sourced healthy solutions for fat loss, muscle gain, immaculate skin care, immune system support, whole body cleanse, physiological balance, and performance support for athletes of all ages. Live Pure handpicks the best products and nutrients from world-class companies, always adding to their quickly growing wellness lineup that now includes Korean skincare, medical-grade nutraceuticals listed as pharmaceutical alternatives in the physician's desk reference, and healthy coffee that rivals the world's best, but for only about $1 per cup. Soul Decodes listeners looking for vitality, youth, beauty, and better health can get 25% off retail by visiting livepure.com/Sarah Tirri and signing up for free as a preferred customer. If you are a content creator, influencer, or home-based entrepreneur looking for worldwide cash flows from the emerging gig economy, Live Pure's state-of-the-industry brand partner affiliate program can bring you up to 7 different payment vectors as bonuses. As a content creator aligned with Live Pure and Earth Angel Media, you will enjoy massive co-marketing benefits, including a cutting-edge website that is personally branded to you or to your business. Sign up as a brand partner at livepure.com/Sarah Tirri, or drop us a note at connect@earthangelproject.com to get more information.